One thing that I've been very interested in lately on the Line 6 Helix is blending two different amps that complement each other to basically give us seemingly endless possibilities for coming up with new tones. We can take two amps that have very different qualities, blend them together in any amount to really get something that may not be possible otherwise. Today I'm going to take you through my dual Mars preset. This is going to be available at the link below at my website free of charge. I hope you enjoy it. This is going to be a single snapshot preset. Kind of an edge of breakup tone that I thought was really nice, combining both the Brit Plexi Bright and the Brit J45 Norm to kind of get more of what I would describe as like a vintage vibe Marshall with more of a cutting Marshall tone blended together. So like I said, we get the best of both worlds. Now this is going to be a single snapshot of my full-blown dual Mars Ultimate preset, which is going to be a 5 snapshot preset utilizing those two amps blended in many different ways to get different gain levels all the way from clean right up to lead. It's also going to have some nice effects in there as well. The link is below to that at my website as well if you want to go grab a copy of that. Later, I will play you a demo video of the various snapshots of the full-blown dual Mars Ultimate preset used together in a production that I did with my good friend Marco Miniman playing drums, a song from my last album called Poison and Power. Really cool, fun song to play. And I think these tones worked out really nice on it. I hope that you enjoy it as well. But first, I want to take you through the preset explanation, then let you hear the tones out of the mix with some various guitars. Then we'll listen to it in the mix, and I hope you guys enjoy this. Again, the links are below for both the free preset and the full-blown Ultimate preset below if you're so inclined to go grab that. Without further ado, let's head over to HX Edit and take a look and listen to see what this preset is all about. So here we are over in HX Edit, and basically what I have here is this dual amp setup. So how I have this is I have my guitar coming in here going into a split block, which is a split A-B block, which is going to allow me to route this signal only to path A, which will be this top amplifier here, or to path B only, or to blend them in various ways. So that's going to be a useful control to have. We can also balance things between the channel volumes between the two different amps as well. Over here, though, on the mixer block, you'll notice that I have these panned both straight up the center. I'm not panning these left and right. Some folks who've done dual amp presets in the past kind of pan them out into stereo. I'm not really interested in that. I'm interested in more blending the tones in mono to get a different tonal quality and combine kind of what I feel are the best of both worlds between the two amps. We'll get back to the amps in a second. We'll just run through the chain here really quick. I have my normal LA Studio comp at the end doing very little again, very subtle compression just to give a little nicer feel to the overall preset and to kind of polish things up and make it a little bit more mix ready. So the peak reductions on 5, gain is on 5, mix is on 100%. And like I said a million times before, we're only getting a dB or 2 dB max of gain reduction. I have my low and high cut block here, low cut at 100 Hertz, high cut at 10 kilohertz. Pretty typical usage for that. I have a dynamic ambience at my favorite settings, room size at 12 meters, the shape control at late 100, the mix at 38%. I do have my low and high shelf EQ here, very typical settings for me that I find just give a lot of presets a really nice mixed ready polish to them. Low frequency and high frequency both set to 650 Hertz, all the frequencies below 650, cut by 1.5 dB in this case, and all the frequencies above 650 boosted by 1.5 dB. And you'll hear the effect that that has on the overall tone in just a moment. So getting over to the important stuff now, let's look at the cab blocks. You'll notice I'm using the exact same cab block on both of these amps. And up here on the top path with the Brit J45 amp, I am utilizing that with a 121 ribbon mic, dead center, 1 inch, 0 degrees on the angle. And that's going to give me that warm ribbon tone, but because it's dead center, it's also still going to get a little bit of bite, and I'll let you hear what that sounds like on its own in a moment. And then on the Brit Plexi Bright model, I'm using the same 412 Greenback 25 with a 160 ribbon mic on the cap edge, 2.25 inches back, 0 degrees. You'll notice the low and high cuts are off on those simply because I had them done over here in the block towards the end. Now going to the amps, I have the Brit J45, drive on 6, bass on 3.9, mid on 9, treble on 8.6, presence on 7.5, channel volume on 6, master on 10. I bumped the sag up on this to 8 to give it a little more of that chewiness in the low end that I really like, and I wanted that amp to kind of have more of that vintage vibe to it. So I found that bumping that sag up actually helped a lot with that. Hum, ripple, bias, X, I just left those alone. Moving over to the Brit Plexi Bright, We have drive on 5.6, bass on 7.4, mids on 10, treble on 6, presence on 5.7, channel volume on 6, master on 10. Sag is actually dropped down on this one to 3.5, and then the other deeper functions I didn't touch. They're 5, 5, 7, and 5 for the hum, ripple, bias, and bias X. All right, so let's do this. Let's just come over here and turn the compressor and the EQ. We'll keep the reverb on. The other low and high shelf EQ off as well. And what we're going to do is listen just to what the sound of the Brit J45 with this cab and mic setup is. Now I'm playing my Gibson Les Paul Jr. with a single P90 in the bridge. So there's the sound of the J45 amp. Now we will come over and route this straight over to nothing but the Brit Plexi Bright. Now you might say that neither of those tones sound really great on their own, but when I blend them equally together, which is where I ended up here, things were sounding really, really nice. Now let's come in and slowly bring in the little sweetener blocks I have here. We'll bring in the compressor. Now that's giving a little bit of a volume boost. We can make that back to unity gain with it off. That's an always on thing for me, so I just left it at that for this one. Coming down to my low and high cut. Here it just cleans up the highs and lows, so it's going to kind of sit in the mix a little bit nicer. And one of my favorite blocks is going to be subtle, but I'm going to bring in the high and low shelf. And again, it just adds a nice little polish to the tone. So there you have the finished product with a single bridge P90 with all the little sweeteners and the balance between those two amps. I think it came out sounding really nice, and the full-blown Ultimate preset is really, really killer with its different gain levels and the added effects. Very useful preset that is going to be quite versatile. Let's take a listen to this with some humbucker pickups. Here I'm in with my Gibson Les Paul Standard 60s. That's on the bridge pickup. We'll go to the middle position. Over to the neck. Back to the bridge. Now let's listen with some single coil pickups. Here I am with my Sir Classic T on the bridge position. I get a lot of questions, folks, asking me, what is this particular preset or whatever preset they're asking me about? What is it designed for use with single coils or humbuckers or P90s? And my answer is always the same. I design my presets so that they sound good regardless of what guitar we're utilizing, what pickup position we're utilizing, so that we can actually use each preset with whatever guitar and let the guitar's characteristics shine through. neck pickup. And middle position. All right, so there you have it. That is the preset. As I said, this particular single snapshot preset is available to link below for free. Go grab that on my website. Hope you enjoy it. But this is very, very similar to a single snapshot from my full-blown Dual Mars Ultimate preset. Also at the link below at my website, which is a 5 snapshot preset, various gain levels, an array of effects built into it. And I'd like to let you hear on the way out what those various snapshots from that preset actually sound like in a production of this song from my last album called Poison and Power, that I did with my good friend Marco Miniman on drums and Jason Henry on the bass guitar. Those guys knocked it out of the park, as they usually do whenever they record material for me, and I always appreciate their work on what I do. So I hope you guys enjoy that. Please like the video, share it with anybody you think would get some use or enjoyment out of watching it. Also, please subscribe to the channel, hit the little bell notification, get notified when I put new content out. I'll be back really soon with some more. Again, links are below to the presets. Hope you enjoy the music on the way out. Ciao for now.